Oh, put out the fire, John. Hey campers, George here. Chilly night tonight in Minnesota. It's about 15 degrees. Oops. Anywho, sitting in the man cave here, looking at a new toy. I've been looking into knives, reading up on types of knives. I had some questions. I wanted to know what the difference was between a camp knife and a bushcraft knife. What was the real differences, and why can't we just have one knife to do everything? I was reading about grinds and types of knives and lengths, the perfect lengths and things like that. Knives of Alaska, and it's a bush camp knife. It's this guy here. It is a great knife. It does everything I need for camping. One thing I do like to do when I'm camping or just sitting outside in the evening having a cup of coffee is I like to carve or whittle away at a piece of wood with a knife. And I've been using this guy, so I wanted to do some more serious carving on wood. I like to make myself a walkabout stick, a third leg, just a walking, hiking pole. And whenever I find a piece of wood that I think will suit, I grab it and start whittling away on it because I like to fancy them up a little like that. I decided, I need to look at a bush knife or a bushcraft knife. Maybe that's what I should be using to do my whittling. So I got to searching. I have owned one of these knives before, and it is a Condor tool and knife. I lie, I haven't owned it. I actually bought one. It's the Hudson Bay camp knife. I bought it for my oldest daughter. She wanted a camping knife, a good solid one, where she could do everything that she needed to make a fire and chop up stuff and that sort of stuff. And I bought her one and I was really impressed with it. Came across Condor Tool and Knives again, had a knife that really got my attention. Came in a nice box. It arrived today and you can see it here. It's in a plastic wrapper, pretty stiff plastic. Obviously, they don't want you cutting yourself when you pull it out or anything like that. It does have a sheath. And I do like this style of sheath. And in the box as well was a catalog. Let's get it out of this plastic thing. And there it is there. Not a bad looking knife at all. It looks nice. It's has a nice wooden handle. Actually feels pretty good. I've always preferred the slightly curved handle. This doesn't feel too bad at all. In fact, it feels pretty nice. It's a nice sized knife. Blade's not too long. It looks good. It doesn't feel very... that's disappointing. Oh, this blade is damaged. It's bent. It's got a nick in it. Okay. Hold 1 second. We got to take care of this problem. I got to look closer at this. Okay. This is kind of disappointing. The blade has some problems with it, and I don't know if you can actually see it here. Can you see there? It's shining right there, and right here is it doesn't really feel sharp. I don't know what happened here. But looking at it, I took some pictures of it, and I'll show you. Here's some close-ups of it. And as you can see in these close-ups, it looks like a neck, but it's actually, when I looked at it closer, it's actually curled. But I contacted Amazon right away, and they just said return it if you don't want it, and they'll refund me. Or if you just want a replacement, go ahead and do that, and all I have to do is guarantee that I'll ship this one back. I like this knife. I like the feel of it. I've looked at it. It's a nice solid blade on it. It's a full tang. It feels good. I like the sheath, so I think I'm just going to get a replacement. Amazon has told me that they are shipping another one right away. So that's the good news. So that's the situation. So hold on there, campers. When I get the new one back again, I'll be back at this video. And guess what arrived in the mail today? Woot! The replacement knife. They turned it around really quickly and got it to me quick. So let's open it up quickly and have a look-see. So let's open this up. And basically the same thing as we went through before. Got the sheath. You can see it there. I do like that. The knife all wrapped up nicely. And the catalog. Let's open it up. Check the knife out quickly. I want to see the blade. There we go. There it is there. And so they must have oiled it before sending it. Feels good. Oh, yeah, okay. So we're ready to go. We can carry on with the review and have a closer look at the Condor BUSHLORE. The official title for this is the Condor Tool and Knife CTK232-4.3HC BUSHLORE Survival Knife. They don't call it a bushcraft knife, they call it a survival knife. Personally, I think it is more bushcrafty, and I suppose it's considered survival. So now that we have, I'll just go through the basic specs on it. And like I said, 1075 hard carbon steel, a hardwood handle. The blade is 4.3 inches. They're talking about this part. 4.3 inches long. The handle, I believe, is 5 inches. So you're looking for a total length of about 8 something. And the blade, I'm not sure. Pretty sturdy. The handle is a nice fit. It's a nice size. I think this will work for me. It's simply going to be a tool that I'm going to use to do light duty stuff. I'm not going to use it for camp stuff because I do have my other knife, my Knives of Alaska one. This guy is going to keep me amused. On the reviews, people used it for everything. As you can see, it's a full tang. It's a pretty solid blade. The handle is hardwood with 2 brass rivets in it to hold it and a lanyard hole right there you can see with a brass ferrule inside. On the blade, there is a label. If you can see that, let me see if I can get in on that. And that is BUSHLORE, trademark. And on the other side, it says Condor El Salvador. 1075 high carbon steel. They say it's a blasted satin finish by using sand or bead blasting to the exposed metal portion of the blade, which is right there. The shape of the blade, it's almost a drop point, but it does come together there. I believe that the grind is Scandi, but looking at it, it almost looks like it has some convex to it. So maybe a combination. It looks like the way it's been ground that to change it to a Scandi shouldn't be very hard. Personally, I don't feel comfortable doing that. I'll keep it the way it is and try and keep it sharp just the way it is. See, here it is in the sheath. It is a tight fit. Does not come out easily. I think, the sheath is still brand new. Maybe needs to be worn in a little bit, but it's certainly not going to drop right out of the sheath. And the sheath, 100% leather, Condor logo on it there. And on the back it says, just right there, and if you can see it, it says El Salvador. I've always wanted some sort of bushcrafty knife, and I think this is a good one. Unfortunately, I had the bad issue with the blade being damaged on the first one I got. Very happy so far. Kind of snowy, stormy outside right now. First real storm of winter. Maybe tomorrow I'll be able to get out there in the snow and have a go at some wood. The issues before are not a big deal for me. They took care of it. So let's go play. Ooh. So let's go outside and let's give this guy a quick dirt test. Hopefully it'll work. Try and start a fire, maybe cut up some wood, things like that. Typical things I'd use it for, some light duty chores. So let's get out there and do this thing. Doesn't look like a dirt test is going to work today. A little breezy. We'll hold off on that for a second. You know what? I think we can do some indoor chores. Let me go and find something. I think I have some wood here that we can carve on. I think I found it. Let's have a look. That looks like something we could work with. Take that inside. There we go. Now we're cooking. Well, it's pretty nasty outside. The wind is really blowing. It's averaging about 25 miles an hour right now. Ooh. So I figured if you watch the video this long, I won't keep you in suspense anymore. Let's see if we can get some actual dirt time inside. I got the knife and I got a ferro rod, and I think this is typically what I would use it for. I consider that light work. Carving the wood, striking a fire, that sort of thing. So let's see if we can get that done. I'm just going to cut into the wood and see how we do. Wow, it's pretty sharp. You can see how easy it's getting into that wood there. And this is not a soft piece of wood. I don't know if I want to chop with it, but let's see what happens. We'll just do some light chopping. I've got a good vacuum cleaner, so I can do this indoors. It seems to cut just fine. It has no problem doing it. It's sharp enough. There's no problem there. The thing that I want to look at is how well will it carve. Let's do this. The wood's wet. Obviously, it's been sitting there under the snow. And you can see here, I'm trying to just carve into the wood. Get a notch going here. I do like the feel of it. I'm really surprised. The handle feels very comfortable. You can see I'm just carving into it there. So it does allow me to carve here. I think if the wood was drier, I'd have a lot more success, but I mean, it's working just fine. No problem there. So that works for me. The point, I would be using that to make a hole or something. Well, it gets into the wood, that's for sure. So for me, so far so good. I like the way it works. Now that I've made a complete mess, I wonder if I can just feather this quickly, if it'll let me do a giant feather here. So I think feathering won't be a problem. It does have a good feel to it. I like that. And I have a ferro rod. And this does have, if you look there, an edge right here. So I'm wondering if it'll strike. Oh! Put out the fire, John. Kidding. I'm kidding. It sparks pretty good. So I know it's not a perfect test for you guys, but it gives me a pretty good idea of how it handles in my hand. And this is going to work for me. I like this knife. It's really, I'm impressed with it. It's a lot better than I thought. It's not really a bushcraft knife. According to them, it's a survival knife. And I think it's a little bit bigger. Maybe the blade length is a little bit bigger than a typical bush knife, bushcraft. knife. But for me, close enough. And what I need it for and what I'm going to use it for, it works perfect. Don't get me wrong, this thing is sturdy. It's got a solid blade. The only issue is I'm not sure with the grind on this if I would want to bludgeon with it. Use it to cut into wood, to break up wood and that sort of thing. I think the grind's a little bit thin to get the sharp edge here, and I think that might be a curling problem. Am I willing to try it? Not really, and not because I don't think it can do it, just simply because that's not what I'm going to use it for. That's what this guy is for, and it's tried and true. So that works for me. This is my toy. But if you're looking for a nice survival bushcrafty style knife, highly recommend it. Very happy with this. Really like the handle. I'm impressed with that. The general feel and having to handle it, no problem. So there you are, campers. I know it's not the perfect review, but I thought that you'd taken the time to watch a video, so I'll at least finish it for you and give you a general idea. Condor tool and knife, BUSHLORE survival knife. You saw the specs and everything, and I'll put a link below. Don't forget to leave comments below. Let me know what you think. If you have one, or if you know a similar style knife, I'd really like to know about it. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. You know the story. And I'm pretty sure I'll be back again with something else to look at. It's cold out there. Got to do something. Just saying. Thanks for watching. Bye.